Alright, hello YouTube, ARFCOM, Cast Bullets, and M1911.org. This is Unknown Havoc here with an update on my 80% 1911. As you can see, it's come quite a ways, but before I get into that, I want to give a huge shout out to everybody who has helped me along with this project. Mostly with the collection of brass, which I'll cover in a later video. But you guys know who you are. Whether you guys had any of the brass that I was looking for, or you guys did, I have to give a massive thank you to all of you guys, because I know you went through, looked through a lot of brass, spent your time to try and help me out, so I really appreciate it. So here it is. I actually picked up the Sarco kit this weekend. I went to Sarco, and the guys were actually kind enough to build the kit for me while I was there. Luckily, I'm about 10 minutes away. So I did actually pick up the kit. As you can see, it's the military kit, so it's going to be basically a reproduction M1911A1. Now, as I was talking about, you'll see that the lower is not quite complete, but it is getting to the point of being done. I was able to fit the slide to the frame. I've been able to fit all of the small pieces except for a couple, which I'll go over in a minute. But thus far, the only thing that I really need for this to be in shooting condition is to pick up the firing pin spring, which unfortunately Sarco did not have. So I'll have to pick up one of those. And what I'll go into later, I also need to cut the slot for the sear spring, because the slot for the sear spring is not cut. Once I do those, I will be able to test fire this weapon. Another thing that I will have to do before it's finished, obviously, is I will have to drill the plunger tube holes. I have the plunger tube here. I've determined that that's really not that important to firing condition, so I will test fire. Obviously, I'm not going to shoot a lot, but just to see if it shoots, I will test fire without that. Again, I'm going to have to tap out the bearing. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to tap out the bushing holes for the grips, and then this will be mostly complete. One of the things that I have not done yet is fit the trigger. It is not a short type trigger as would have been seen on the M1911A1. Unfortunately, the only short type triggers I found online were quite expensive, and unfortunately that is outside of my budget now, so I'll just have to stick with this. Right now I have my old Rock Island trigger that I fit to it. I replaced it with another trigger on my Rock, so I fit this trigger to it, which works just fine. I've been able to test everything thus far. Hammer does drop when you engage the sear with a pin. And as you can see, everything is fit. I fit the magazine release. I fit, obviously, the mainspring housing. Everything fits together nice and tight. The sear disconnector, all the pins are fitting nice and tight together. The barrel mates nicely to the slide, and I got the barrel link in, got the barrel link fitted with the slide release. Magazines also do drop out. I'm not going to do that for you right now, but as you can see, there is still a little bit more that needs to be done. I would take this apart right now, but I don't want to, take my hands off of the camera. But the slot for the sear spring is not cut, so I am going to have to cut that. Probably, yeah, it's right about here, parallel with the bushing hole. I'm not exactly sure how I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to cut that. So any suggestions would be great. And then, obviously, we already talked about the plunger holes. Otherwise, it's starting to come together pretty nicely. A basic update, I would guess that I will have a shooting video, test firing at least, within the next week or two. But those of you who know what this gun is going to be, thanks a lot. For the rest of you, I'll have an update as the gun comes along. I don't want to reveal exactly what it's going to be. Again, I have to give one more massive shout out to everybody at AR15.com, castbullets.com, and M1911.org. You guys have been a massive help. I really, really appreciate it, and I know the other person is really going to appreciate it. So thank you again, guys. I hope you enjoy. I hope I can have an update pretty soon for you guys so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Thanks again.